James Crispin, and for the last 2 years I've been chair of the Life Board. The work that Life Factories do is going to change quite a lot over the next 10 years. We see a fair number of Life Factories will continue to develop and work in the traditional areas, so focusing on protection business and annuities, and also on with profits. The annuities and with profits, the focus on those is declining as those businesses run off unless customers take out those products. Instead, we also see a lot of firms moving forward in capital light products, sort of the unit linked and savings markets in particular. And the need for a lot of the heavy actuarial work is probably slightly less there. Against that, there will be a lot of ongoing regulatory changes coming up. So we've just launched, or Solvency II is just implemented, and we're expecting further capital standards from the global supervisory bodies coming through over the next few years. And in addition to that, the work needed to introduce the new accounting standards, IFRS Phase 4. But in addition, we would also expect a lot of Life Factories to branch out into other areas of the business. So focusing on risk management, which is a growing area, and also trying to move in towards the new trends around data analytics and working out how they can use that to enhance propositions for both the customer and also for their companies. We're seeing that the overseas membership and the life industry, particularly Asia and sort of Africa and other countries, is expanding rapidly, and we're keen to expand our offering to these markets and keen to attract more members from the international community onto the Life Board going forward. In addition, what we're planning to do is to set up a subcommittee of the Life Board based out in Asia, whose focus would then be to develop CPD material for the Asian community, potentially lead research ideas as well that are specific to Asia, and also to give us the Asian perspective on some of the global capital standards going forward. If that option, if this works out, we would then look to consider whether there's opportunity to try it in other regions of the world as well, where members are maybe less supported than through their local actuarial communities. The Life Conference is one of the most successful conferences that the profession offers. Last year we had a record attendance of 1,200 members attending, including a party coming across from Japan, which was very exciting to see, and we look to continue to grow and maintain that level of conference for our members. The key challenge is to make sure that we keep it relevant and provide both strong plenary sessions for everybody, but also workshops that cover the wide range of disciplines within the profession, and also giving the opportunity for softer skills, but also importantly making sure that the opportunities to network and enjoy oneself are also a key part of the conference. We've been working to sort of enhance our relationships with the regulatory bodies in the UK over the last few years. So the last couple of years we've been holding regular meetings with the PRA on technical matters, and they've definitely been helpful in both highlighting concerns that the profession has with some of the technical standards, particularly on Solvency II, and also discussing issues that are common between concerns the PRA has and the Life Body has. We're therefore looking to set up similar contact meetings with the FCA to focus more on the consumer issues and make sure that we can influence and support our membership in dealing with some of the consultations that are coming out from the FCA. Over the last couple of years, we've seen an increased number of bodies looking to set standards for actuaries to apply to their work. In addition to the technical actuarial standards set by the FRC in the UK, the International Association of Actuaries is looking to set international standards through their ISAPs, and the AAE in Europe is also looking to introduce a number of standards applicable to work under Solvency II through the ESAPs. We feel it's very important that the Life Board, and particularly through our consultations committee, engages with these consultation processes and feeds in the views of the UK membership over the last years. In order to help with that, two of our members have joined some of the standard drafting committees at the AAE, working on some of the ESAPs, and we've also had regular discussions on the current one in progress, ESAP 3, which is focused on the standards for the ORSA. In particular, we're keen that these remain principles based rather than becoming too prescriptive, and our main concern is producing reports that are very cumbersome and difficult to read, and therefore don't actually achieve the objective of getting the actuarial analysis and viewpoint across in a clear, concise manner. Solvency II went live at the start of this year. However, there are still several areas where there's a reasonable amount of uncertainty, and therefore we've been looking to work out how we can support our membership in dealing with these areas. So, following our strategic review this year, we established 2 new working parties looking at matching adjustment and transitional measures for the technical provisions, and in particular with a remit to consider some of the hot topics on the transitional measures around how you would recalculate those and in changing market conditions, recognising that most firms are looking to switch off their previous Solvency I reporting, which is a key part of that calculation. In addition, we're looking to make sure that we engage with the PRA on some of the issues that are arising from this and make sure that we can feed those into sort of any future reviews of Solvency II. The other areas that we've been looking to support our membership in the introduction of Solvency II is through CPD, and we held a conference in the run-up to Solvency II going live in September last year, and we're looking to hold another one coming up this year. And one of our working parties that we've established is also focused on carrying out a retrospective look at the implementation of Solvency II and what the key learning points are. So through our research committee, the Life Board runs a large number of working parties. I think we currently have around 20 on the go, and these have continued to focus on issues that have been raised by the membership or ideas coming out of research. In addition, through some of our work on thinking about the strategic direction of the profession, the Life Board has set up 6 new working parties to take ideas and areas forward this year. These are focusing on pro-cyclicality, looking at counter-cyclical buffers, which follows on from some work and discussions we held with the Bank of England, and also 2 new working parties on Solvency II, looking at the transitional measures and the matching adjustment to generate ideas and methodologies for companies to adopt going forwards, and also looking at things from the consumer perspective. We've got working parties looking at the impacts of Solvency II on consumer products, the impact of the current low economic interest rate environment, and finally looking at the impact of the runoff of with profits and the consumer angle rather than from the company angle.
I'm Andrew Chamberlain, I'm the new chair of the Life Board. The Life Board has been very aware for some time now that it's tended to focus its activities on the UK members, and this is something that we've concluded it's time to move overseas and look to provide better services to the members wherever they happen to be in the world. As a first step in that process, what we're proposing to do is to form a new committee, the Life Asia Committee, which will look at the issues that affect that part of the world and our members there, whether it be their continuing professional development, the consultations that may be going on in the area, or research that might be particularly appropriate to that area, and act as a mouthpiece for those members to the Life Board as a whole. The Asia Committee, I hope, will be a first step. I hope that afterwards, if it's successful, we can extend it to other parts of the world where we have large concentrations of the Institute and faculty members. The Solvency II regime has been a complete and total change for life assurance actuaries. And for those who were actively involved in the development in their respective organisations, they're probably fairly well versed in the subject. But everyone else in the whole organisation is now having to become used to it. And this is quite a CPD issue for those members. But nevertheless, we now have to acknowledge that the UK has voted for Brexit. We're going to be leaving the EU, and Solvency II itself may be in question for the UK going forward. So there are a lot of issues the Life Board's going to have to address, both from the point of view of assisting members and representing the public interest and the members' position to government and elsewhere. The life insurance industry is a regulated industry, and all our members are affected by what the PRA and the FCA do. And it's important, I think, that the professional body is involved actively with both those regulators so that they can put forward not only the point of view of actuaries, but help inform the debate from a public interest perspective so that they can both understand where we're coming from. And to do that, it's important to have good relationships with both the PRA and the FCA. The UK has generally been quite a major standard setter, both through the FRC and the Institute and Faculty itself. And I think because we have been involved so much as a professional body in setting standards, we're well placed to assist the international bodies that are now setting standards. I myself am a member of the IAA's Actuarial Standards Committee and have been for a number of years now, and I'm chairing one of their task forces looking at the setting of technical provisions under the international capital standards. And I think the active involvement of members in those sort of activities is very useful in helping to shape the world as it goes forward. It's very difficult to predict what anyone will be doing in years to come and the nature of the world in which anyone will be working in 10 years' time. How will the financial services industry in the UK and elsewhere change between now and 2026? It's very difficult to say. And I think there is also the question of what will life actuaries want to be doing in 10 years' time? Where will they want to be active? Particularly our younger members, those who've recently qualified in the last 5 or even 10 years. They will be the really important people in 10 years' time. And I would like to make a special effort to ask them what is it they want to do and how can the Life Board help them get there both as individuals and collectively. What do they want the Life Board to do for them?